good, or things can get out of hand very quickly in a fast team fight. Gen.G can win a fight with a snap of their fingers if they get that back line down.
Yeah, definitely favoring Gen.G's comp here a little bit personally. I have, I'm kind of going down the Victor hate train. I think that Syndra would have been a much better pick in this scenario. But maybe Fate's not that kind of player. Maybe he doesn't want to go into the Syndra, but I thought that was going to be really perfect for them. Could
have been so great for both dealing with the Sylas in lane and also for peeling. With Scatter, you can use that when the engage comes through. You can set up engage yourself that way, multifaceted. He's played the Talia Saturday Showdown.
Yes, and it is a holiday weekend here in Korea. It is the Lunar New Year.
The traffic has started.
Yeah, today was insane. Including the not so great drivers. I had a very stressful drive over. But yeah, there was a bus that was very aggressive.
In some early skirmishes, a Sylas from behind, a Renekton from behind against all this damage. Divide that can of course collapse onto the squishy Karma. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in the mid game if Gen.G mess up a fight. And then if DRX get ahead when we crest the mid game, it becomes very easy for them to just kind of sit back and play the slow game here and chip away at that front line when it tries to engage. So, there are ways in which DRX win this game, I think, in the mid game if DRX... This one's a little bit more nuanced as Barrel is trying his best to help Duckdom push this lane through, and it's being pretty successful. However...
Oh, they're going to get the root down here as well as the W onto Duckdom. He has to flash away, and Peanut is here. As he is so dead, but Paze might be traded back. No, there's a heal available. And this looks like disaster for the DRX bottom lane as Gen.G able to easily bait them into that fight.
Yeah, this is the second time, this week where Barrel has taken an early game fight hoping that he's going to be able to win it in the 2v2 season all-in opportunity and then ends up getting punished, just not having vision of where Peanut was. And it was outplayed, frankly, by Paze and Delight in the 2v2 there. And Peanut comes in to scoop them up. So 2 team fights where you're going to be taking chip damage as far as want to teleport back into an objective is all.
What?
Sad times. That's one of your favorite things, right? Was the blast plant doesn't work out?
Yeah, in what world, it did look like he was on the opposite side, on the north side of it, as, okay, Chovy getting aggressive, didn't see Vi up the lane, but Chovy actually quite tanky at this point in time. He got that early Ruby Crystal, and I suppose the Doran shield, and he had that refillable ticking, so just not enough damage right now for the tier-only Victor and the Vi who just hit level 6.
Yeah. Does, of course, have to, expend his flash here. So follow-ups are potentially possible as Rascal is in trouble.
Yeah, I don't think goes to... Oh, that was actually pretty nice. Throw a post here onto the Maokai as the damage is slow to come out to start here for Gen.G's top side as so many turret shots go into the Renekton as now we finally have the ult come out from the Maokai and Doran will get the kill, but it trades 2 for 1 in favor of Rascal.
Double here for Rascal. Amazingly played, using his dashes extremely well there, and this is with a massive minion wave, and I think that considering Peanut doesn't have 6 at the start of this fight, as soon as this riposte hits, you have to be really careful about how you're going to fight this one out. Peanut hits 6 here, then decides he's going to ult back in to lock Rascal down, and the aggro unfortunately just goes straight to him, and then Doran, as soon as he's dead, the aggro gets picked up from him. It was a little bit sloppy. You feel Execution is calling already on lock. Drake spawns here, though, with Gen.G faster to group for it. Chovy not here just yet, is walking over. He's got a very quick Rod of Ages, 11 minutes on this with some of that extra first strike gold. Had to skip boots to get it. What it means, he's missing a few minions here in the mid lane and won't be able to get to this Drake fast enough to hold it. And actually, DRX will wrestle control, so fast Rod of Ages. Can they actually turn this back into their favor? And the answer is, looks like yes.
Yeah, they get on over. I mean, Duckdom, he just got his teleport back, and maybe it's just a couple of seconds too late. I feel like he's probably sitting on a decent amount of gold. Yeah, there it is. The Yomu's is going to be completed, so maybe they were like, he's low on mana. Duckdom can't really help. He just wants to TP back to lane if needed.
For Gen.G, from everything we were talking about earlier, the plates picked up top mid and the one bottom side there. As Rascal is not here to contest this Herald, nor can he defend his turret. And Gen.G just frankly out-macroing DRX in a lot of ways, and their comp is stronger at this point in the game, but still, I think DRX definitely could have been responding a little bit faster to some of these objective takes, and Gen.G's gold lead is just kind of slowly ballooning here, now up to 3,000. As you can see here, the Korean side of the broadcast is thinking the same thing as me, like, started off small, but it's ramping up.
Yeah. You know, as you mentioned, right, especially because the bot lane kind of lost that early trade for DRX, it's like, well, Fiora's top, Victor's mid, and our bot lane lost 2v2. So what are we going to do? I guess we're just going to sit here and play really passively and try not to get too far behind. And, you know, it does lead to situations in games like this where everything kind of slows down. Gen.G gets a lot of the early objectives, and DRX are like, sure, fine, whatever. Right now, you're not scaled up.
He has TP, he doesn't even need it. They have Herald, and Rascal's trying to push bottom side here, but he can be collapsed so easily. It's fairly risky for him to even stay here right now as this Herald crashes through as the Drake is being taken, but because he took the top turret earlier, Gen.G's focal point on the bottom side of the map is absolutely correct because the only place for Rascal to get side lane value is down here, and this is where he's going to get punished.
Well, he does have Ghost, so... And with Peanut, once again, being the only one with the CC on the front line there, would have been very telegraphed. As Doran takes a bit of damage, in goes Chovy, trying to frontline now. He has the ultimate of Vi taken, and Krako's just a little bit too squishy to play frontline here, and they get into the backline so easily. This is such a broken up fight. Beryl is not able to help out his team, and it is just a rout here. Fate, he looks like he's barely going to be taken out here at the end. He is quite fast, but the Maokai catches up. And at the end of the day, it's only Rascal who survives.
Rascal, can he get away with this? Gonna get the Demolish proc and we'll take out the turret. Try to just run as fast as Fiora's legs can carry her to an execute, I suppose, but I don't think you get out with this one.
Yeah.
This is, so everything about this fight is split up by the fact that Gen.G have control of the bottom side. I'll let you play, Blaze. Well,
no.
never mind. There's no more to it.
The light took the kill. That was kind of funny.
That is kind of funny. But all of this is set up by the fact that Rascal has to side lane bottom side with Fiora.
There, so it's a 4v5 plus your Vi gets caught, and Gen.G's comp is stronger at this time. Like, that's not a time where you can fight as DRX. You have to back away. And I think Krako was trying to set something up because Doran was a little bit out of position, but wasn't meant to be. Speaking of Doran out of position, he is Ironectin, level 14, but let's see if Rascal's got enough damage to pull through this one. The Q not going to land here from the Vi, but it should be enough.
TP interrupted.
TP denied.
That was really scary, though. When I saw that TP, I'm like, well, how many survive? They will get away with it. Doran does go down. But yeah, you know that just going back to that last fight, you know, not the Renekton pick, but the previous one on the Drake is sure that Duckdom survives, Rascal can get into the backline, stuff like that. The intricacies of a 5v5, I think, is where a lot of his value is going to be, but we've been only seeing skirmishes where he's extremely vulnerable and can be picked very easily, losing summoners and stuff like that. As, I mean, this is just Gen.G in complete control of this. Duckdom is on Mars right now. He does have teleport here, but it's very late.
Yeah. He's going to teleport after the dragon does go down. They don't have vision of the pit, so unfortunately Krako couldn't try to go for a steal or anything like that either. As here come DRX, maybe a last-ditch effort, try to fight a front-to-back without getting dove. They tried to 100-0 Doran, and they are unsuccessful. And that is going to be a big issue. Rascal now trying to fight in the front line. Toby not doing much just yet. Peanut eventually will go down, and finally Toby will enter this one onto the backside. Doran still alive somehow, and now Toby enters the fight. He is just unkillable. That's a nice flash away from Duckdom, but it is not enough. As Fate and Rascal, the only ones left here. They could potentially kite this one out, but Gen.G not even going to chase it.
There's nothing bad to say on either side about how this fight played out. I really feel like DRX saw blood in the water there. They have an opportunity to pick the Renekton. Yeah, very difficult to kill target who has Gore Drinker in this build, but still an opportunity to get that front line out of the way and then front to back when Chovy's slightly out of position there. On the other side of the fight, though, you know, Gen.G played it patiently. Chovy waits for the overextension. This, Rascal.
Stunned under the turret. That is not a good look. Doran wishes he had a... Okay, he's got his flashback. Waited for his CDs. And he doesn't have to wish for anything. He gets right in range. and shuts down around.
You can hit some of those, slow this fight. You know, the best way for DRX to win a fight in this game, sometimes from behind, we talk about how you have to get some crazy wombo combo. In this case, you really just have to chip away repeatedly and force Gen.G into a bad fight where you have positional advantage. But you see Gen.G regain control and instantly are heading over to split here on this Drake. And DRX do not have any vision of this. So they have no idea this is happening. I mean, they're probably starting to figure it out.
Ping's coming in. They know this is happening. Gen.G are not going to be a fool in this position. That is part of the reason why they only sent 2 people. FaZe has got some range. He's Jin. And I think DRX feeling a bit desperate at this point. Look at this. I mean, they can't even get in the pit, really. Gen.G just able to bully them out of that. And now they have Infernal Soul. So Gen.G kind of get everything. They have denied the split push. They have denied the Baron desperate attempt. And they got Infernal Soul. What else can they get except the Nexus? I don't know.
Yeah, Baron is basically theirs for the taking here. I mean, notice the minions pushing in mid here that Fate has to deal with. He has TP. Duckdom also has TP, but is sticking around here.
Oh, they somehow had vision of him. Looks like maybe he channeled that a little bit early. Rascal on the Fiora forces that Soraka ultimate, and Pace just snipes him, actually. That was pretty cool. And this one might just be done and dusted, guys. A couple of guys already down, Barrel included, on the side of DRX, and it is just a rout once again. Kroko, the only one left available. Gen.G look pretty primed to take this first game against DRX. As another snipe comes in, it's not quite enough damage. As Kroko will die to Jin.
Sad times, just a range of that turret there with the punch.
A sponsored by
There you go. He's got that Omen logo on his gun. I think what sets teams like Gen.G apart from, you know, Gen.G is an S-tier team, right? What sets them apart from A-tier teams in the LCK and around the world is their ability to make calls like going for that Infernal Drake, right? And splitting. As this is just a really clean fight, punishing DRX's desperation. Like, everything that this is for DRX is just trying to set up a trap, trying to catch somebody on rotation here, clearing the wave, and just one step at a time. Gen.G's comp is great at picking, but what sets Gen.G apart is from even teams like Kwangdong who've struggled in moments like this with leads in the past is being able to send 2 to that Infernal while also controlling Baron. With a composition that has a Jin, as you mentioned, that can fight from halfway between the Drake and the Baron.
Yeah.
You know, just using your composition strengths to pull DRX apart and give them no opportunities for comebacks, no opportunities to sneak a single objective.
I think you're exactly right, especially because of the way they handled the split push as well. Like, a lot of teams would have just, well, Rascal's dead here. As down he goes, a last-ditch attempt. Yeah, a lot of teams would have just, you know, gone all in on the Baron and said, you know, oh no, somebody's got to get back. You know, how many times have we seen a Fiora somehow end the game? We saw it earlier this week. But Gen.G, they handled it so well, so carefully. Everything done to a T in this game number 1. As the Nexus turrets will fall, a last-ditch effort here from the side of DRX, but they are just getting pummeled. As first pick Maokai also going to pick up another win here. Gen.G will start off Saturday Showdown with a big first game number 1. I
thought it was a fantastic game from Chovy. You know, I don't want to say a return to form, but how he played the mid game was really beautiful to watch. And his team set up a lot of vision for him. I think he was, in a lot of ways, kind of micromanaged by Delight and the squad in terms of